doing calves first today. Obviously, this is what I prefer doing, although it heavily depends on whether this machine's actually taken or not when I arrive at the gym, because I'm not going to postpone the start of my session just to wait for a calf raise. It's just ridiculous. You just put calves in wherever you can fit them in, and ideally at the start of the session in my eyes, because I mean, on average, I'd say for at least 9 out of 10 people, calves are a weak point. So I mean, it makes sense to train your weakness first, especially if it's not going to be negatively impactful, or other words, detrimental to the remainder of the training session. And because calves are such a fatigue resistant muscle group and such a small muscle group, you can kind of hammer the hell out of them and they don't really cause any, I guess you could say, systemic fatigue that's going to negatively impact or I guess hinder or degrade the quality of performance on any other body parts. So it makes sense to me. I did one warm-up set, so I'm going to do 3 working sets of this. Same weight as last week for the first set, 325 pound. And then if I hit a rep PB, I'll escalate the weight. Or if I say max out the rep range, I'll escalate the weight for the remaining 2 sets. So I think I was pretty close to it last week. Definitely increasing the weight, definitely. Given that that's beyond the rep range. Let's just see what I got last week. That's a one rep PB. So 2 more sets. I'll go 345 for the next set. Big jump, although that's the next plate up, so I don't really have any other choice, because the increment dial on this machine is jammed, has been jammed since I arrived here last year in Thailand, so I don't think it's going to be getting fixed anytime soon. So I just assume it's going to be just a permanent unchangeable variable, which means I just need to have a bigger rep range. That's the thing, if you can't make smaller incremental increases on an exercise, be it something like this where the increment dial is jammed and you have to go up a plate at a time, just have a bigger rep range to work with for that exercise. That way, by the time you get to the top end of the rep range, by the time you're doing the highest number of reps possible in that bigger rep range, you'll be able to escalate the weight by an additional plate and start at the bottom end of that rep range and gradually build up again. Whereas if you have a narrow kind of rep range, you're narrowing the parameters. You're not going to be able to make a jump to the next plate by the time you get to the top of the rep range, because you're not going to be able to hit the minimum number of reps for the rep range. So just have a larger kind of discrepancy between the lower rep threshold and the upper rep limit, or lower rep limit. You get what I mean. It's better to have a rep range of, say, 10 to 20 than it is to, say, have a rep range of 12 to 15 or even 10 to 15, because you've got double the amount of repetitions within the rep range to kind of build up over. Just one of the many little tips when it comes to sensible, practical programming. 12. 12 done. So one more. I wonder what the public holiday is today, because I'm pretty sure it's a public holiday in Australia and here in Thailand. I'm gonna have to look it up. Maybe it'll say on my calendar. Because I knew it was a public holiday in Australia. I had a client say it was. Huh. Coronation Day. It's Coronation Day in Thailand. Day off for that. What's today's date? 6th of May. What is it in Australia? No, it must be some sort of like a show holiday or something. Because I can't see any. Yeah, probably just a local show near where one of my clients lives. That must be it. It's an actual public holiday today here in Thailand, nationwide. Now that calves are out of the way, time to do chest. So last week I was doing 80 pound. I got 12, 12, and I think 10 or 9 for the last set. So I'll aim for 3 sets of 12 today, or even just 2 sets of 12 instead of 10. Anything better or like a rep up from last week, I'll be happy with. And if I can obviously get a somewhat comfortable 3 sets of 12 out at this, I'll bump it up to 90 pound next week. Just stupid, simple, linear progression. Nothing to it. Just gotten the job done. Close to a century, and we'll continue to get the job done. The only downside about training calves before anything else is calf cramps. I just got one sitting down then. Kind of like cramped in the gastric nemus, and like just the upper part of the head. It's real painful. Anyhow, at least I know the calves are growing and responding, especially after the comparison picture I put on my Instagram the other day. I put up like a side relaxed comparison on my, like a side symmetry, whatever you want to fucking call it, on my Instagram page, and the calf gains are real, I tell you that. It surprised even me, because you're not even really flexing the calves in the side symmetry, side relaxed poses. So the fact that I can notice that they're visually significantly bigger is a positive, I think. So I was always that guy that thought I'd have small calves forever, because genetically I don't have the best calves. I'll tell you that, I'll be right up front. But I just stopped training them like a fucking retard, and lo and behold, they actually start growing. I think that's the issue. A lot of people say that they're resilient to growth. I think people are just resilient to training them fucking properly. Tell you what, it feels good to be reunited with my EAAs and carb powder. It's always a depressing few days when I'm kind of out of stock of one or the other and I'm waiting for a restock before I can start having the intra drink again. Because I mean, although water is nice and it's refreshing to a degree or to an extent, it's just not quite the same as having some carbs and some EAAs. Yeah. Final set now. Let's go for at least 10. So I forgot my knee sleeves, or my elbow sleeves, but they're knee sleeves. I forgot them. So this is probably going to feel a lot less comfortable than last week. But I did get, I believe, 7 to 8 reps for all of my sets last week. So I'll aim to match last week and just see how things go. Don't know what to expect because, like I said, with the elbow sleeves last week, or whatever you want to call them, it did feel a lot more comfortable. I'll be honest. So, and I know that's a band-aid fix. It's not a solution to the elbow discomfort, and I do need to get on top of that. Although, just for a short-term fix while I get that under wrap, it helps. Final set, and then on to the last exercise of the session, which is only 2 sets, the decline chest press. Let's get a real good stretching of the chest in that exercise. Like, if you want more bang for your buck, I do think incline presses are the way to go, but if you can afford a little bit of volume towards a less ideal pressing movement in your training, then decline's a good addition. Just add a little bit of variety. Load the pectoralis major in a slightly different fashion. So say variety is the spice of life. So 2 working sets. Last week it was, what was it last week? Oh, here we go. 11 and 10. Really, the seat feels a notch too high. Let's have a look. It is. Would you happen to know that? There we go. If you have the seat too high on a decline press, it feels like you're doing a press down here. It's all triceps. So you want to make sure that the seat's not too high. Because the last thing you want to be doing is a fucking tricep press when you're doing decline. Obviously the goal is to target the chest, so slightly wider grip I find. Appropriate seat height so that you're getting an actual stretch through the pec fibers. So that you're aligning the machine with your joints, so to speak. Goddamn sweaty fucking shirt.